Hi, Demitri Downing. Welcome back to Cannabury Tales here. We're still at MJ Pack. We're MJ Pack after hours. Everybody has left except for us. Well, mostly because there's so many brands that we want to share with you. They're great stories. And we have one in particular we've been saving towards the end of the day. Oh, Demitri Downing, my co-hosts.
Rita Valenzuela.
And Destinee Blanco.
Yeah, we're here with the, I'm not sure, owners, entrepreneurs, but we'll let them introduce themselves.
Co-founders.
The people behind, co-founders behind 40 Tons, a great American brand that's emerging in the cannabis industry. So we're glad to have you guys here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Why don't you guys introduce yourself to the audience? Ladies first.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Loriel Alegrete.
A little closer there.
My name is Loriel Alegrete, and I am founder and CEO of 40 Tons.
Loriel, founder of 40 Tons.
Yes.
And I'm Anthony Alegrete, Chief Operations Officer and co-founder as well of the 40 Tons brand.
40 Tons brand. Where's the this 40 Tons, we got a big story here to tell.
Sure.
But tell us, 40 Tons, where are you guys based out of?
Los Angeles, California.
So it's a California-based brand.
Yes,
Are you guys moving across the country?
we are.
We are.
We're in Missouri and Arkansas.
Indeed.
Oh, Missouri.
Are you guys going to Hall of Flowers?
Yes.
Nice.
We like the Hall of Flowers setup. It's very nice. So you guys, 40 Tons, where did it start? Tell us the origins of 40 Tons.
Loaded question.
Well, I know we got some time.
Okay.
The newspaper article read, California man sentenced to life in prison for 40 tons of weed. And 13 years later, we turned a negative into a positive.
Wow.
Gave me chills.
So what year was that man sentenced, and what year did 40 Tons start?
Well, 40 Tons started 20-something years ago in the legacy market because we've been selling weed. My partner, Corvain, and I, Loriel is my wife, and held us down while we had to go to jail. And in 2013, we all went to prison over cannabis.
Nice.
And my good friend Corvain Cooper and co-founder got a life sentence without the possibility of parole over a nonviolent cannabis offense.
A nonviolent cannabis offense.
Yes.
Was it like a third strike thing?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
it was.
I'm an ex-prosecutor, so
Yeah, and his first
I don't mind
strike,
that, though.
his first strike was 1 pound of cannabis, and his second strike was
Yeah.
Cough
codeine
syrup.
cough syrup without a prescription.
Yeah, those 3 strikes and you're out thing. That's kind of a ridiculous concept.
Yeah.
So excellent year for the legacy market. We have much love for that. And so 40 Tons was invented what year again?
So it was invented in 2020
Yeah.
during the pandemic,
We are 18 months old, but
but I mean we've been around for 20 years.
The concept is an evolving one, but
So what happened was Corvain was serving a life sentence, and there was a bunch of advocacy efforts going on, and everyone was trying to get him out of prison. And so we built the brand in 2020 to help bring more awareness to his cause.
I got 3 angles.
yeah. And Corbain was the gentleman that was sentenced for 40 Tons.
yes.
Right. Well, we all were sentenced for 40 tons, but in the 40, it's called the 40 tons conspiracy. But he got a life sentence because he ended up going to trial.
Okay.
And
so
so
you were sentenced as well for that.
I did a couple years
Yeah.
over that,
They were on the same
Wow,
indictment.
huh?
and so
Federal?
Federal.
State?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't have 3 strikes, obviously. And so we built the brand, Loriel and I, to bring more awareness, and we hit the winning lottery ticket when then former President Trump signed a presidential pardon clemency
Yeah, and we
for
got
Corvain
that.
on
We
his
got
last
that
day of
call
office.
from the White House in the middle of the night, and it was
Wow.
like, "Hey, Corvain is going to be given the clemency." With all that stuff that was going on with President Trump and storming the office, and all that.
What year? What?
January 20th, 2021.
Yeah.
This makes Demitri
January 20th, 2021. You
Yes.
got a call from the White House. Like who from the White House called? Who called you guys or called
Called
the
us.
mom?
Called the
call
mom.
us.
Called
Yeah.
the mom.
Yeah.
Called
Usually they call mom.
They did. They
Yeah.
called mom, and they Ivanka did.
Ivanka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Called
Mom.
Corbain's mom.
Yes.
Wow.
And then
Ivanka.
and then L'Oreal and I, because we're friends of 30 years with Corvain. He's our
Yeah.
founding partner.
How old's Corbain?
43, now?
43.
42.
Yeah. You guys are all young. How old are you?
I'm 43. He's 42 actually. He
Yeah.
doesn't turn until November
Oh,
2nd.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. How old are you?
Oh, I'm a ripe 42.
You guys are all young. Okay. It's all good. It's all good.
You guys look like you're in your 20s.
So
No, we have a 21-year-old kid
Wow.
and an 18-year-old
What?
yeah.
and a 9.
So
What?
Ivanka
So, yeah.
calls
Good skin.
Corbain's mom.
correct. Says you're coming home. Now we We didn't know, but we kind of knew because the week leading up to him leaving office is the time that any president grants clemencies or pardons.
Yeah.
And so all of the advocacy people were like, look, man, we got it on his desk. It's going to happen. We don't know, but you never know. It's a freaking lottery ticket. And so people kept telling us, hey, this is what's happening. You know, we're going to, you know, we think that we have a good chance, but, you know, you don't pay it no mind because it's like it's a lottery ticket. It's a needle in a haystack.
Right.
And we got that call.
Like the 3,000 get issued. The 3,000 get applied for. They issue like 15 or something like that.
Something like that.
Crazy.
And we got it.
Like 40 acres and a mule. It should be called 40 tons and a Trump.
Jim Jones says 40 tons and a coupe.
Yeah.
So,
Hey.
Shout out
So-
Jim Jones,
Coupe de
Saucy
Ville?
Brand,
so
Alex Todd.
So not a negative word can be said about Donald Trump and the Corbin family.
Oh no,
No.
never.
That's
never.
interesting. You don't hear a lot about this story.
Yeah, we.
Especially in California.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
this wasn't on CNN.
It was on.
Was it?
It wasn't on CNN, but it was on CBS National.
Okay.
Okay.
It was, which was huge. It was on. It's been in Vanity Fair. It's been in High Times. It's been in
BET.
Forbes, BET. Nas, shout out Nas, the rapper, did a documentary in November of 2020 called "Smoke" and Black America, and Corbin was featured in that as.
Right.
And it, you know, all of that advocacy. Shout out to Patrick McGurl, which is his attorney, helped get 152,000 signatures on Change.org. We helped facilitate a lot of that, and all the advocacy groups came together, and just 1 + 1 + 1 = 50.
Yeah, and I've heard about this. I've heard about this story before. I just didn't hear. You don't hear about a lot about the Trump stuff. They like to badmouth him quite a bit. So, who was the attorney? Who was the tip of the spear that made it happen with the Trump administration with Ivanka?
So Patrick McGurl was the one that actually filled out the clemency document to be submitted. However, we wouldn't be where we're at without people like Alice Johnson,
Absolutely.
the
And-
Buried Alive Project.
Right. Brittany K. Barnett.
Yep, pushing it. Weldon Angelos from Project Mission Green. Last Prisoner Project played a role in the amplification of the message. But that person that actually walked it in and handed it to Trump was Alice Johnson.
Yeah. Hats off to her.
So 40 tons. Now you guys are in California. Could you kind of describe your reach? I know there's a little complicated black market kind of stuff. How many dispensaries are you guys in? How do you guys measure your success in California?
Okay.
We're fully compliant.
Absolutely. I had enough, right? So yes, fully compliant.
You know this is true. This is true. Sorry.
Right.
But there's no criminal sanctions anymore. So
Yes.
very
exactly.
complicated nuance to the modern cannabis industry. A lot of people don't understand the difference between civil and criminal sanctions. Leave that to the side. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, of course. We have 3 SKUs to date. We are in 57 stores. Herbal is our distro. And we've got some great strategic partnerships across the supply chain that allows us to bring our brand to market and our great flour and pre-rolls and gummies and things like that.
Yeah.
Nice. And so you're about 50 dispensaries, you said?
Yeah, 57 dispensaries in California and about 20 in Missouri and Arkansas.
And Missouri and Arkansas. And you guys are heading up to Hall Flowers. Have you done Hall Flowers before?
Yeah.
You find it pretty good successful with the buyers and stuff?
So we find it good to come to any of these things for the networking purposes.
Better than staying at home.
Veterans, yeah, for real. So, you know,
Yes.
everybody is there trying to get their stuff connected.
Yeah, there's a lot of crowds. Oh, yeah.
So we kind of take a different approach and more so just like build relationships so that when we do need to reach out to those buyers or we do need to reach to the brands or the people or the dispensaries, they already know who we are. And so I wouldn't say that it's like we walk away with 20 buyers buying our stuff, but what we do walk away with is relationships that get built organically that allow us to reach out to them later down the line. Like today, I didn't tell you this, but I ran into the owners of Velvet Cannabis. And Velvet Cannabis has 2 dispensaries, one in Martinez, one in Eagle Rock. And I thanked them, and I saw them here. And I had never met the owners before, but they were wearing a Velvet T-shirt. And I had met their buyers in the past. So that's what
That
conferences
continues
do.
to happen.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, absolutely. And Hall Flowers does a pretty good job of vetting their people, and we respect what they do.
Yeah.
So you guys looking for licensing partners, manufacturing partners in other states? Are you
Exactly.
taking that route?
That's exactly where we're a licensing play. We have 5 licensing deals across the United States currently. and we're looking for more. We have a brand that has a nationwide presence, and we're looking for supply chain partners in various states. Specifically, Arizona is where we want to come next.
Wait, we can help you on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's where we come in.
Shout out MITA.
Yeah. Have you guys been to a MITA? I'm sorry if you haven't. I don't remember.
We have not.
I know.
Oh my God, October 26th. Are they coming?
We host the top cannabis networking events.
In Arizona?
In Arizona.
Oh,
There's over 1,000 people that go monthly.
Oh, we're there. Let's go.
When I met.
Yes. They partied in New York already, so, you know what I mean?
Sorry, guys. Ari's behind the scenes right here. Just,
Shout out Ari.
Yeah.
So 40 tons was invented. Excuse me. What was the exact month and date again? I know it was 2020, right?
January 20th, 2021.
Was the invention of the 40 tons brand
Yes.
Technically,
On paper.
on paper?
On paper.
Yeah.
Well, technically, we incorporated December of 2020, but January 20th, 2021 was when we got the real big push to now go hard in the paint.
Right.
Because that was the day that he got free. But we started it about 8-9 months in terms of telling people about who we were, and then we officially incorporated December 2020, and off to the races.
Yes.
So a percentage of the funds that you raise are going to the Trump re-election campaign in 2024? I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that. I don't want to get you in trouble.
We're
It's
not
a non-political brand.
We're not. It's a non-political brand.
That's- yeah,
Mad
exactly.
shout out
That's-
to Trump for what he did. We support him. We thank him for what he did for us.
Yeah.
We even prior to Trump, we're not left. We're not right. We're just people,
Yeah.
and we vote based on who we believe in at the moment.
And people don't realize that. I mean, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Obama, Donald Trump, they've all been stepping on immigrants, and they've all been putting people in jail, and they've all been pardoning people, all of them, for 40 years. And it's like they make some sort of big distinction in the media, but it's not
Right.
true.
So we like to say, we all know that this country's corrupt, so that it doesn't matter whether you're left or right. However, it's the best country in the world, and we're thankful to be able to operate within this country and do the things that we do. And you just have to work within that.
Are you guys looking for investors?
Yes.
Absolutely. I just pitched on the money stage. Well, we just pitched on the
What
money
was that
stage.
pitch about? What were you looking for?
Just looking for a small investment of $500,000.
Right? And what does that get somebody?
Convertible note. It's a $500,000 on a convertible note. Our market cap is $5 million.
Yeah.
With a 20% discount and an 8% accrued interest on the
My
on the
friend
note.
just
2
bought
year.
Jack Herrera's brand from Dan Herrera, his son.
Yes,
I know
we
Dan.
know Dan.
Yeah.
We just saw him a few weeks ago at an
Yeah.
event in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know what the exact structure is, but when he said bought, he usually means bought. And he's looking for other brands as well.
Hey.
And $500,000 would be like
A drop in the bucket.
$5, you know.
something. No, but I'll tell you what, he was one of like 8 to 12 individuals who's advising Trump on cannabis.
Really?
Yeah, my friend, and he has a brand himself, another big brand in California. I won't mention the name right now. I guess probably somebody could figure out who bought Jack's brand, but they're
Now- go ahead, keep going.
they're working together, and this would be interesting for him because he probably would appreciate the fact that there was some tie-in to Trump because he's a big Trump guy as well.
Yeah,
you know these are Arizona guys, so this is McCain territory.
Oh, well.
No.
And I got love,
It'll be
and I
all-
like McCain. I thought he was a really good.
I
guy.
love McCain too.
No, McCain was a cool cat.
I really
McCain
It's
was
an
did.
interesting story.
Yeah, and not to get political, but McCain was a Republican that was like a good human being that was trying to change.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to dive too much into politics or stuff, especially with the brand. But the fact of the matter is one thing we can all celebrate, and this is one of the reasons why. Here, you guys go ahead and give these. Over
I
to
will
them
say
now.
that McCain's well respected even to the Democrats in Arizona. Just
hand
so
them
you
out.
know.
And,
So-
and that's what it's about. It's about working across the lines, working in the middle.
These are gifts for both you guys. You earned
Oh,
them.
dope.
You earned them. They're,
Okay.
they're High
Thank
Point
you.
Freedom
Pure
dog
silver.
tags designed by Glenn Murray. One
Shout out
I
Glenn
said
Murray.
earlier.
He passed away in December.
Oh, rest
But
in peace, Glenn.
Him and I bonded over the concept of like the few years that I got to know him between 2017 and 2021 when he died last December. I forget what years. The underlying spirit of the cannabis industry is freedom. It is choice. It's the right for individuals to pursue their homeopathic remedies as they see fit and exercise their free will to decide what they want to decide. And anyone who appreciates and understands the cannabis industry and the history of the cannabis movement, the history of the cannabis plant, the history of cannabis politics, should have a healthy distrust for government. Okay? 50 years, media, politicians, Democrats, Republican, scientists, Nancy Reagan, all of them, Democrats and Republicans, they all poo-pooed the homeopathic capabilities of cannabis. So if you're going to stand and reflect upon what government can do, what government did, you should say, hang on a second, I got to take a second guess about everything that you're saying if you're in the cannabis industry. Mm-hmm. And so the cannabis industry really is about freedom. It's really about choice. It's really about questioning things. It's really about finding your own path. And so Glenn Murray was a libertarian, and so we bonded over that. He passed away. And these dog tags represent his legacy and what we believe the cannabis industry is really about. Not substance use, not substance abuse, but really freedom.
Yes.
And it's nice to be involved in that part of life sometime in your life.
Yes, thank you. I'm honored. I'll be so honored to wear this. I'm going to wear this tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. We're honored to have you on our podcast.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's kind of what we're about, man. We're about just pushing the fact that if we're going to make billions of dollars in a legal industry, why is there people still locked up?
Yeah, we're sort of like after hours here. It's quiet, Place closed up like 20 minutes ago.
Save the best for last.
Well, people understand. Where is everybody? I
feel like I still hear the gong.
I could have sworn I just heard it right now.
Yeah, Ari, could you go hit the gong?
Ari, go hit the gong behind us.
No, she'll be thrilled to hit the gong. Can you see her running back there to hit the gong?
Yeah, we can get this.
Yeah, she's right there. Look.
Sorry. That's cool. We look forward to working with you guys and helping you guys and following your journey and stuff. 40 Tons has a good story and a good legacy behind it. And when people see it in stores, they can say, hey, you know what, that's a differentiator. That's a differentiator. You guys have come from somewhere. You're doing from something. You care about a cause. You're committed. And I imagine like a percentage of profits, your organization's doing something with Last Prisoner Project or something like that. Or who do you guys work with?
So we are our own entity. Mm-hmm. We are not the Last Prisoner Project. We support what Last Prisoner Project does, Freedom Grow Forever, Project Mission Green, all these great organizations, Can Do Clemency, are all doing their own thing, and it's great. And there is overlap. However, what we have done is we actually don't donate a percentage. We actually built restorative justice into our entire model. So we have like a Tom's model where you buy one shoe, you get another one, to someone that doesn't have a shoe in a third world country. That's what we do with our brand. So we built restorative justice into our entire business model. So one could say 100% of the proceeds, but obviously, like, we need to be profitable. But our shirts that we do for each prisoner, 100% goes back to them.
They can go on our website and check that out.
So we built restorative justice into our actual business model on the things that we do, and we have a ton of initiatives, and the money from the sale of the products go towards those initiatives.
Yeah, that was very important to me. I knew how difficult it was for me when Anthony had to go and do his time for nonviolent cannabis offense, that it was a lot of times where I would have to choose, hey, do I put gas in the car or do I put money on his commissary so he can call one of the kids on their birthdays, right? So we wanted to empower these offenders that are in jail right now for cannabis and let them know that, hey, there's a way that you can try to support yourself and your family outside, no matter how small it is.
So you knew Corbin, you guys have all known each other for years.
30 years.
30 years. Are you guys like childhood friends?
Yeah.
High school.
I got to meet this Corbin guy. This is interesting.
Normally he would be here. He's always with us, but today he had actually something he had to do in LA, so he couldn't be here. But he's normally there. But maybe we'll bring him on October 26th.
No, this is. I'm an ex-prosecutor. You'll be pleased to know that almost every single. I was a domestic violence prosecutor. 1998, 2010. I quit 6 times. They kept hiring me back. Anybody can job as a prosecutor. Nobody wants to work as a prosecutor. It's a low-paying government job. As a lawyer, it's just crap. But it's a job. So, I was a domestic violence prosecutor for most of those years, but I would get marijuana cases all the time. And I cannot tell you, everybody in the prosecutor's office, except for one, nobody cared about why we were doing what we were doing, whether it was financial crimes or domestic violence or, enforcing any of these laws. We just did our job. To think about and analyze is the job as a legislature. But personally, I was really fascinated by this because I saw that the people that were running drugs and doing transportation and all this stuff on the southern Arizona border, which was my area, I saw them as entrepreneurs, so I like suspended every single sentence. Suspended. $5,000 fine. Suspended. $20,000 fine. Suspended. 5 years. Suspended. Just don't do it again.
Right.
Man, we hoped to
Right.
get those joint suspensions back in the day, man.
Yeah, well, we work closely with the U.S. Attorney. If you piss off the U.S. Attorney, you really, I mean, I don't know how much, 40 tons. Yeah, there you go. You know,
Look, we look at it like this, man. The U.S. Attorney, he they drew blood on this case, but at the end of the day, we know that they did their jobs. We were selling weed without a license, and we broke the law, and rightfully so. We should pay the consequences. However, what we are big advocates on is that the punishments don't fit the crimes. Nobody should be doing a life sentence over weed. Nobody should be doing 25 years over a non-violent cannabis offense. When someone sells real estate without a license, they don't go to jail forever. They don't get 50 years, right? So the punishments need to match what the crimes are. And we're not saying that we were innocent. We sold weed without a license.
yeah.
But it's like, come on, like, give us a 1-year bid or a 2-year bid, slap us on the wrist, call it a day. But when you put 20, 30, 40 years in front of us, it breaks up families. It turns people against one each other. It causes people to tell on one another. It rips through communities. And that's where we have our problem. So, like, we don't look at the U.S. Attorney or they did what they had to do. It's about changing the narrative that the punishments don't fit the crimes, and that if we're going to be selling cannabis legally, we need to let the people out.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people don't talk about the incredibly important variable in the drug war 2.0, in Prohibition 2.0, is should there be civil or criminal sanctions in regards to those who don't participate in the marketplace. And if there are criminal sanctions, my God, if I was a defense attorney, I'd be going after jury nullification all day fucking long.
And that's a way to win, but no one
Maybe
uses it.
that's a big risk, though. That's a big risk.
Correct.
I was at a football party, at a Super Bowl party in February, with the head of the U.S. Attorney from Southern Arizona. Some of you could figure that out. Old friend of mine from prosecuting all these lawyers, and I said to him, "Think about it. Arizona legalized in November of 2020." In January 2021 was the first legal sale. So 1 year later, January 2022, February 2022, I'm at the Christmas party, and I said, "Have you guys taken to trial any marijuana cases?" And he said, "Demitri, we haven't done a criminal trial for marijuana of any sort. U.S. Attorney, all the cartels bringing stuff across the border, in a year and a half."
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, well, that, I was wondering if anybody was going for jury nullification, saying, how can they send these people to jail if there's a legal system in Arizona? But he said that hasn't even been brought up. In a year and a half, they haven't done that. And he said, but Demitri, you know why they're not going to trial? And I'm like, yeah, because you guys offer them 100 years and then offer them like 60 days probation if they plead it out and you get your numbers.
There you go.
And it's not about the numbers. They just get the case prosecuted and life goes on.
Done, yeah.
And if there's no victim, nobody really bitches. That's kind of like the story. You don't want people bitching at this stuff. But, if I might change the subject for 1 second, because you mentioned restorative justice, and I understand clearly the distinction between getting people out of jail and restorative justice. And I see you there over there in your blue suit. And you probably came out of jail with some good friends, but not too many pennies in your pocket.
A blue jumpsuit.
A blue jumpsuit, yeah. So when you say restorative justice, it usually involves like civil rights, et cetera, et cetera. But it also involves helping a man get a blue suit so that he can work in the real world after he came out of jail.
So this is exactly what we talk
do.
about. Loriel and I and Corvain and the people that are on our team believe it's one thing to get someone out of jail, but how do we stop recidivism? The answer to that is workforce development.
Right.
Restorative justice.
The blue suit.
But you can't just throw somebody into a blue suit or tell them, hey, go do your thing if you don't help them provide and get the blue suit. So what we do is we do these career conferences called Can I Get a Second Chance Cannabis Career Conferences, where we have people donate the blue suits. And so you can actually physically get free wardrobe
that's cool.
in order to go on. You get free headshots from a professional photographer. You get free resumes. You get free LinkedIn optimizations. You go to classes that teach you about whatever we're teaching about. And then after you get all that, you actually go out onto the floor and talk to the companies like Curaleaf, Verano, Acreage Holdings, some of the smaller companies, whoever it
There you
is,
go.
and actually get jobs.
Set them up for success.
Oh, and by the way, if you got a past cannabis conviction, go over to the expungement clinic table and get your record expunged. And that's what we do all over the United States. So when we sell our products, we do it in the goal is to do it in the cities in which we impact, hopefully over the United States. And then now you're supporting a brand that is actually investing into workforce development and the blue suit that you're talking about.
I think Arizona's next.
Yeah, we're a big American family, so even if you take Arizona dollars and you help people in California, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's good. It's all good.
But here's the thing. We'll bring Can I Get a Second Chance to Arizona. And then we do one of those career conferences in Arizona along with MITA and along with all your other partners. And we do this, and we hire people. And this is where people like Loriel, myself, Corvain, BIPOC communities, those with past cannabis convictions can get hired. And not just bud tender jobs, although we have that.
Yeah.
But what other kind of jobs?
It's mid to upper management jobs.
Yeah.
It's logistics, managerial roles.
Decision makers.
C-suite.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's what we're about.
And what were you doing when he was in jail? Tell me. Maybe like a little
Demitri,
timeline here.
what do you mean?
Were you in jail? You were in jail.
She was
too,
holding
were you?
it down.
I was,
She was raising the babies.
raising 3 children.
So you guys have
on my
children
own.
together?
Yes, 3.
Okay, 3 children.
3 children.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of them are not
So
children.
I saw you guys holding hands. I didn't want to presume anything.
Oh, yeah, he's
We
my
have the
buddy
same
for
last name.
like
They
21
said they were
years.
married.
21.
Maybe I missed
22.
that. Sorry.
Shit,
I
right.
thought I was just making you nervous.
22.
Well, you know,
21.
who's counting? And so, 3 children, raised them on my own, all while trying to support him while he was in jail. You know, 2 and 3 jobs that I held at one time. I think it was so bad I probably worked
They're
like
ride or die.
70 hours a week, and then rotating the kids at school and back and forth. And
Remember the time you worked at C's Candy and you were 8-9 months pregnant and you had the big old belly wearing the
that is so random fun fact
Wearing
you dropped
the
right now.
wearing the season. It was
They
the
gave you
cutest
free
thing.
candy.
He's like,
at
I'll never
You know when
forget
you
that,
got
though.
when you got the belly out and your eyes, she was. But you know the uniform at C's Candy.
Yeah.
That
The cute little aprons.
yes,
Yep.
but with her big old belly with 9
Do you have a
months of the belly.
picture? That's
Oh
so
my God,
cute.
please no.
You got to see that picture later.
Yeah, so I did that.
She
I
held
held
it.
various jobs, and all while trying to support him while he was in jail. And then, of course, the kids wanted to visit with him, but maybe you all don't know how that really goes. But a lot of prisons that he was at, I was not allowed to go because we are a racial couple, right?
For the most
So
part, I mean,
it was a lot of
I didn't
that,
give a
or
shit, but-
I'd have to send the kids with
but-
his mother.
Are you serious? That's
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm not politically
There's a lot of
involved.
racial
I'm not a gang
issues
member,
in jail.
but there is that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but like she came to every prison, so it wasn't like she didn't not do that. But
Yeah.
it was issues where it was things like that. And you need to be aware of that kind of thing because like I could go back to the unit and it's like I'm married to a black woman. It's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what thankfully saved me in prison was the fact that I wasn't affiliated. So people didn't hold me to the same standards of as a gang member or as a racist guy, right? Because
Yeah.
typically, the Caucasians, you're either completely not involved or you're racist, right? You know what I mean? And that's just how the prison system works. And
I'm familiar with how they
it.
segregate people by
the Mexicans
Seen
over
American
here,
Me.
the blacks over here, the whites over here, the
Yeah.
Asians over there, and that's it.
But
and then,
I
you
thought
don't
maybe it would
cross.
calm down by now.
It's
a
more
little bit.
it's more self segregation. It's
Right,
more
20
groups identify with each other
2020
rather
now.
than government intentionally telling people that. So it's a different sort of
This is true.
segregation.
This is true.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
but-
brother and my very close brother. I went 2008. I mean, I was a prosecutor for 12 years, but I went into jail all the time. That's a little different from that perspective. But then my brother was in jail for 2 years, and I went every weekend to visit him. And he was like white and Hispanic, and he barely looked white. He barely looked Hispanic, so he was on both sides. So, but I'm very familiar with this process.
Yeah.
So so like navigating that and figuring those kinds of things out, you know what I mean? And so, but the one thing that I had going for me was that like I wasn't a gang member and I was like the smart guy, so like I got along with the Mexicans and the blacks and this and whoever and the white, the people that really knew like the head shot callers respected me. Maybe the little torpedoes didn't, but the high guys did because they knew like I'm trying to help people change their lives. I'm trying to make
Yeah, and you're federal facilities too, right?
do
so
justice work within the system and help
Yeah.
people, right? And in the feds, it's not it's racist, but it's not as bad as the state. But
Racial.
It's racial, excuse me. It's racial, but what it is it's geography. So it's all the California people versus the DC people
Yeah.
versus the
Right,
Midwest
right.
people versus, so it's very that oriented.
Representing.
Okay.
Because we get shipped all over.
Yeah.
And Corvain, and where I went was peanuts Disneyland compared to Corvain. Corvain, saw murders and stabbings. I saw that too, but he was at high levels. When you have a life sentence, you go to the rock and rolling places. So we're not Debbie Downers. We went through what we went through, but now it's time to sell cannabis, do what we're doing, help those, give a hand up, and, promote companies and organizations like MITA and all the other people that believe in, creating a progressive cannabis industry. And we're here to help, and we're here to, participate, and we're here to show love. And
Yeah, we appreciate this opportunity. I mean, Demitri, I think you're right. We closed the place out. I
Yeah,
think they're
we-
looking
we
at us
sh-
like, hey.
No, honestly, I don't care. You guys
Yeah.
are really interesting. And this is what we're here for. This is a really good story. This is good stuff. What's the 500,000 for? What's that? What's the plans with that?
We have to build out our team, right?
Right.
Getting the right people to put them in place, right? I also want to get more inventory, expand our product line, so things like that.
strategic sales and marketing
Of
channels.
course.
That was your slide.
Well,
You acting like you don't know the slide that you just performed.
Slide.
you should
It was
simmer
her
down.
slide
Oh,
on
slide.
That
Simmer.
question is part of our pitch deck, and that was her slide.
Yeah.
Well, simmer down, spark plug. So,
I love you guys.
Smart
I
blood.
really love you guys.
You guys are soulmates.
You should have known the answer, but okay.
That's cool.
Aw,
How long
said
you guys been
Twin
married?
flames over here.
Yeah, like 22 years.
It's a long time. Where'd you guys go to high school?
Hollywood High.
I went to Taft.
Okay.
Are you guys
Hill.
like high school lovers?
No, we went to
After.
two separate schools. So he graduated a year earlier than I did, and
Yeah.
so he went to my high school prom, which is class of '98.
Right.
And I'm class of 97.
Did you guys go to prom together?
My prom, but
Oh.
he took another girl to prom. So.
I didn't know her. I didn't know her during my prom.
You took another girl to her prom?
Imagine.
No, I took her to her prom, but in my prom was 1997. Her prom was 1998, and I met her in 1990. I met her in the beginning of 1998 because her brother and I used to hustle and play basketball together.
Okay.
And I was like, hook me up with your sister.
Ah.
Shout out David. What's up, bro? Tatted up from here to here to here.
Interesting. So if you guys make it October 26th, we would love to have you in Arizona,
Yeah.
and we'll help you get me some potential licensing partners there.
I'm about to text her right now.
Although,
October
you know,
26th.
There's a lot of people that argue that it might be best to wait for federal legalization, interstate commerce, and maintain control over your IP and your brand as much as possible, and then build a manufacturing center and ship interstate for brands. So, I mean, those are tough questions that every brand has to answer for themselves, depending on strategy and investment capital and all that kind of stuff. But we can talk about all that in time, and I look forward to getting to know you guys better for sure.
Thank you.
It's been a real
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Did I get you guys Glen Murray Freedom Dog Tag? Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I'll leave my info here with you, and then that flower gifted to y'all, your crew.
Oh, thank you.
You know, and I
Appreciate
think it'll give you some time, Demitri, to kind of really do your due diligence on 40
Yeah.
tons and what we stand for, and know that what we're talking about is real.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we will see you October 26th.
You will.
I dig the restorative justice saying. It just means giving somebody a second chance. Basically, whether you're
Thank
in
you.
jail or not in
Appreciate it.
jail, everybody deserves a second chance. And so
I'm totally digging this logo, by the way.
Yeah.
The
Thank
like
Unshackled.
unshackled.
Yes.
That was
and
kind
it's,
of our-
It's on our gummies as well, Owl's Oil gummies. So
Before we close off this podcast, if you can give the viewers an inspiring quote.
Oh, man, I got
that's
one.
a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean,
I got one.
yeah.
Dude, Arthur.
He's pretty
He's on
articulate.
it.
Yeah, you guys are both articulate. You guys definitely got this.
So,
Give him. Go ahead. Sorry.
smooth seas don't make skillful sailors. Remember that. So everything that you go through, all the things in your life that may have been tumultuous, may have hurt you, at the end of the day they provide you with experience. And so smooth seas never made a skillful sailor. So those experiences is what makes you who you are. And never forget that the journey is the reward.
Oh, that's excellent. You got it.
She's like, I'm gonna play off that one.
Yeah, just like
You could. I
that's
like.
amazing.
I
See, I
was-
knew it. He got it. He was
No,
spitting
he's
some
good.
bars
He's
over
good.
here.
He-
Very philosophical. I love
Diamonds are only made through pressure.
Straight up. I mean, that's real.
Trying to make short. I'm trying to think what Yoda would say about that, but that was a good one.
He said,
What's this quote from about? And this is for you, Loriel. If you stuck a lump of coal up her ass in 2 weeks, you would have a diamond.
okay, okay.
What's that quote from?
Okay, Queen.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
No. I'm pretty
She's
good
so
with numbers.
uptight. That's the joke. That was a joke. That in 2 weeks you'd have a Ferris Bueller.
Oh my
Okay.
Ferris Bueller.
That's good.
So when you said diamond, that reminded me of that. I'm also an '80s freak.
We'll get
Feel free to cut that.
Freak.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we'll definitely be meeting up again soon.
Yes.
was
Thank you,
amazing.
Dimitri.
Thank you guys
for
so much
having
for joining.
us.
Thank
you.
you, ladies.
Love, respect.
This was another episode of Cannabury Tales.